Left of the box. I talk about policing a lot in this country. It's not the same across the country. Some places are worse than others. Case in point, Edmonton. Horrible. Just absolutely dog shit horrible of a police service. They did something that I'm like, this doesn't make you look good. This is like really bad what you just did. So they're responsible for a lot of encampment destructions of unhoused people. They've arrested an Indigenous journalist who was covering the story. Luckily, those charges were dropped. They've brutalized people in these encampments. Just horrible, horrible people. And so on their official Twitter account, they tweet something out because, I don't know, makes them look good? No. It's really bad PSA that they're sending. So the tweet says they've done some significant damage to the park. Homeless encampments have scarred Edmonton's once pristine river valley. Deputy Chief Warren recently toured Dawson Park, pointing out danger areas, suggesting the land itself may never recover due to large-scale excavations. And they posted a video that I'll show you. And it's just, oh no, this poor pristine river valley. Our park looks a little bit dirty because of these people who have had to try to survive by living it rough in this park because they can't get the supports that they need within the city. Like, oh no, make it about the park. Make it about the fact that, looking at this park isn't as nice as it was to you before. That this, from what you'll see in the video, a part of the park that people probably weren't really going to in the first place. But, oh no, they've made this land dirty, as opposed to like, wow, this is a serious problem where people have had to turn to doing this in order to survive. Maybe we should deal with that. Anyway, this video makes me mad. Let's get to it.
I think Edmonton likes to pride itself. We've got the, world's largest or North America's largest uninterrupted park system. And there's parts of it that are becoming unusable for people. This is all along.
If it's Canada's largest uninterrupted park system, then there's plenty of park to go around. I'm just saying. And again, if you don't like what unhoused people are doing in the park, why not try giving them the supports they need within the city so they don't have to resort to that? Because nobody chooses that if they have a better option. Housing encampments exist because people are picking the least worst option. That is it.
Dawson Park here, this has been a really big entrenched encampment for us for a long time. Litter that's strewn about here, really hard to clean up, right? Because you try to get what you can, but if you're gonna miss things like the needles and stuff, so just be careful when you're walking around. This is the encampment where, if people remember,
if I watch too much of this, I'm really going to start picking up on his accent too. I'll try to keep my Canadian accent in check.
Where we took the cache of weapons out of. Came out of this set of encampments through here. There's a whole series of trails and smaller encampments.
Some of those are actually pretty cool. I want this. I want this. It looks pretty cool. When you're living in a tent and you're trying to survive on your own and stuff, it is just, you have to defend yourself if need be in the only way necessary. And sometimes these are also just tools. Sometimes they're self-defense, but sometimes they needed to cut things to actually survive and get by, because they can't exactly lug around a toolbox with them when they're unhoused.
That are littered about. But you can see that even just there, like, these are almost becoming impossible to clean up. This is a spot that we've been working on for weeks, literally trying to clean up.
And the thing that I noticed with this too is that this isn't on the trail. So for people just enjoying the park, it doesn't look like this is actually on a trail. It looks like you have to actually like walk into the woods in order to get there. People who are in these unhoused encampments, they're trying to find anywhere to go to. Places where they won't be disturbed. Places where they can, set up tent for a little bit and actually have some consistency on where they go back to. They're not about to set this up right on the trail if they have an option of just going into the woods a little bit.
And you can still see there's extensive amount of garbage in here.
Yeah, because you know what? One of the problems with these encampments is they don't have garbage pickup. The city doesn't send a garbage truck around once every other week. I don't know. I live in an apartment building. I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, they don't get the same services as everyone else. And I guarantee you, if they stop picking up garbage in a downtown area for the businesses and stuff like that, it look really messy really fast. And when there's been garbage strikes in the past, yeah, uh-huh. it's it's not just them being lazy or anything, it's them not having access to proper services.
Some of the damage to the parks, it will never come back. What we're finding is, significant bio waste in here, biohazard, needles. Hey, look at this pit. It's right in here. Look at how there's even a shovel still sitting here. Here's another example of where, someone's excavated out 2 spots here right in the bank. Cut down a tree. You can see there's actually been a fire there.
What? There was a fire in a park in an encampment so that people could stay warm or maybe cook food? Because it's not like anyone else has never done camping in the woods before where they need a fire. I may have been to some of those when I was younger.
So they've done some significant damage here to this park. Yeah, so they actually had a fire. There's a chimney built right in there, hey?
That's actually really resourceful.
I confirm there's no city crews here today. They actually pulled the city crews out because we've had 3 people get injured. And they actually have to hire a special contractor company to come in and kind of clean this mess up. So,
Well, we could hire more of them if we weren't putting so much money into the police budget. Just saying, we could hire lots of people to go in and clean up that area if we, maybe cut out his salary.
there's residences just above this bank, where, obviously we had a pretty significant encampment here. So we get a lot of complaints from this neighborhood about the noise. Some of the community members themselves have had to come down. They've cleaned it up themselves, which again, pretty risky, right? They're coming down and pulling propane tanks out of these encampments.
Now, are they doing that out of a sense of altruism, or are they doing that out of a sense of sabotage? Are they doing that because they're like, oh, we're really concerned that these people might hurt themselves with these propane tanks and, we don't want to see anyone get hurt? Or are they doing that because they want to take away their few resources that they have to stay warm and cook their food in hopes that it forces them to move? Again, instead of the city actually providing them proper supports and places to go.
The risk, obviously, of falling on something, being exposed to some kind of biohazard or, needles or whatever, is pretty high. So
yeah, so if it's this bad for the people that choose to go in there, just imagine what it's like having to live there. Nobody chooses that. Again, this is the least worst option. Have sympathy for the people that were forced to live there because there was nowhere else for them to go.
we keep coming back. We keep finding people moving back into these sites. So I think that when people talk about the encampments, just recognize that how big a picture this has become in the city. The navigation center that's been set up by the government, it gives us the opportunity to try to get people out of these kind of environments and look for the help they need.
Cops. Yeah, there's nowhere for them to go. It's just so frustrating.